Zhou Xun is one of the most captivating and talented actresses in Chinese cinema. From her humble beginnings to becoming a global icon, her journey is filled with passion, success, and controversy. This video will dive deep into her childhood, her rise to stardom, the scandals that followed, and her lasting impact on the industry. If you love powerful performances, compelling stories, and behind-the-scenes insights, you won't want to miss this. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave us your feedback in the comment section below. Now, let's explore the incredible life of Zhou Xun together. Zhou Xun, born on October 18, 1974, came from a humble background in Kuzhou, a small city nestled in China's Zhejiang province. Her father worked as a film projectionist, while her mother was a salesperson. Their home was modest, but it was filled with stories, images, and the echoes of films that flickered on the big screen. From an early age, Zhou was naturally drawn to the world of storytelling, though she had no idea that one day she would become one of the most celebrated actresses in China. As a child, Zhou was known for her vivid imagination and expressive personality. She was not the type to sit still in the classroom for long hours. School bored her, and she often found herself daydreaming rather than focusing on her studies. While her parents wanted her to take a traditional path, she gravitated toward performance, instinctively mimicking characters from movies and television. She would reenact scenes with her friends, immersing herself in the emotions of the characters, long before she ever stepped onto a real stage. Despite her artistic leanings, Zhou Xun never received formal training in acting as a child. Her entrance into the world of performance was somewhat unexpected. In her teenage years, she attended Zhejiang Arts Institute, where she studied music rather than acting. Though she was musically gifted, she didn't see herself becoming a professional singer. Yet, this experience helped develop her ability to convey emotion, something that would later define her career as an actress. Her first break in entertainment came when a director spotted her at school and offered her a role in a film. It was a small production, and she was not yet a well-known name, but it was her first step into the industry. Zhou Xun was not classically beautiful by conventional standards, but there was something mesmerizing about her presence. Her expressive eyes and delicate features carried a kind of vulnerability that drew people in. More importantly, she had an ability to lose herself in a role, transforming in a way that made even the most minor character feel real. Her early career was filled with struggles, as is the case with most actors trying to make a name for themselves. She took on roles in independent films and low-budget productions, trying to carve out a space in an industry that often favored more traditional beauty and well-connected newcomers. But she refused to be discouraged. She had an undeniable presence on screen, a kind of rawness that made audiences feel like they were watching a real person rather than an actress playing a role. Her breakthrough came in the late 1990s when she starred in Suzhou River, an independent film that showcased her incredible depth as an actress. The film was dark and melancholic, telling the story of love, loss, and identity. Zhou Xun played a dual role, portraying both a mysterious woman and a free-spirited performer. The contrast between the two characters highlighted her versatility and emotional range. Her performance was widely praised, and the film itself gained international recognition. This was a turning point. Suddenly, she was not just another struggling actress, she was a rising star. Unlike some of her peers who found success through mainstream television dramas, Zhou Xun made her name through art films and character-driven performances. This set her apart from other actresses of her generation. She had no interest in being a typical idol or playing the same kind of roles over and over again. She wanted to challenge herself, to dig deeper into the psychology of her characters, to make each performance feel unique and deeply personal. In the early 2000s, as her reputation grew, bigger opportunities started coming her way. Directors who valued strong, emotionally powerful performances sought her out. She began working with some of the most respected filmmakers in China, taking on complex and demanding roles that required her to push herself beyond her comfort zone. But even as she gained recognition, Zhou Xun remained deeply private and somewhat enigmatic. She did not court the media or seek attention outside of her work. While other young actresses focused on cultivating a glamorous public image, she seemed indifferent to fame. She rarely gave interviews, and when she did, she spoke softly, often choosing her words carefully. It was clear that she cared more about her craft than the trappings of celebrity life. Though her rise to prominence seemed almost inevitable in hindsight, it had not been an easy road. She had faced rejections, financial struggles, and the uncertainty that came with trying to make it in an industry where success was never guaranteed. But she never allowed doubt to stop her. She followed her instincts, choosing roles that spoke to her rather than ones that simply promised fame or fortune. By the time she reached her late 20s, Zhou Xun was no longer just an actress. She was an artist, someone who approached each role with a dedication that set her apart. Her performances were not just about acting, but about transformation, about fully immersing herself in a character's world. Her early years in the industry shaped her in ways that would define the rest of her career. She learned to navigate the competitive world of film with quiet determination. She built a reputation as someone who could disappear into any role, making audiences forget that they were watching an actress and instead believe they were witnessing a real person's life unfold. These years were crucial because they set the foundation for everything that would come next. Her willingness to take risks, her refusal to conform to industry expectations, and her deep emotional connection to her work made her different from the rest. She was not just another starlet. She was a force, someone who would go on to shape the landscape of Chinese cinema in ways no one could have predicted. Zhou Xun's rise to fame was not overnight, but once she broke through, there was no stopping her. She had already made a name for herself with her intense, deeply emotional performances in independent films, but it was in the early 2000s that she truly became a star. Directors recognized her ability to bring characters to life in a way that felt completely natural, and audiences were drawn to her rare combination of vulnerability and strength. She was not just another actress playing a role. She became her characters, making every performance unforgettable. One of the films that cemented her status was Balzac and the Little Chinese Seamstress. The movie, based on the acclaimed novel, told the story of two young men sent to a remote village for re-education during China's Cultural Revolution. Zhou Xun played the title character, a young woman whose life is transformed by the forbidden books the two men introduced to her. Her portrayal was delicate yet powerful, capturing the quiet longing of a girl who dreams of a world beyond the mountains. The film was a hit both in China and internationally, and her performance was widely praised. Not long after, she starred in Perhaps Love, a film that would become one of her most defining works. The ambitious musical drama blended romance with stunning visuals, telling the story of love, betrayal, and regret in a way that felt almost dreamlike. Zhou Xun played Sun Na, a woman torn between two men and the choices she had made in pursuit of success. The role demanded emotional depth, and she delivered a breathtaking performance that won her multiple awards, including Best Actress at the Hong Kong Film Awards. It was a moment that solidified her place among the greatest actresses of her generation. She had proven that she could handle complex, layered characters, and directors wanted to work with her. Every project she took on seemed to elevate her even further. In The Banquet, a lavish period drama inspired by Shakespeare's Hamlet, she played a sorrowful empress caught in a web of power and betrayal. The film's grand production values and intense storytelling were a perfect backdrop for her talent. She had the ability to command attention even in the most visually stunning settings, her presence cutting through the grandeur with raw emotion. At the same time, she continued to take on roles that challenged her in new ways. She starred in Painted Skin, a supernatural thriller about a fox spirit who longs to be human. It was a departure from the grounded dramas she was known for, but she approached it with the same level of dedication, making the fantastical character feel real. The film was a huge success, leading to a sequel where she reprised her role, proving that she could carry a blockbuster just as effortlessly as she could lead an intimate character piece. Zhou Xun was also making waves in television. While she had primarily focused on films, she took on the role of Wang Rong in the 2003 TV adaptation of The Legend of the Condor Heroes. It was a bold move, stepping into a character beloved by generations, but she made it her own. Her portrayal was lively, clever, and full of energy, capturing the spirit of the character while bringing her own unique touch. The series was a hit, making her even more of a household name. During these years, she was not just winning roles, she was winning awards. Her performances were recognized across China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and even at international film festivals. She became the first actress to win Best Actress at the Golden Horse Awards, Hong Kong Film Awards, and the Chinese Film Media Awards in the same year. She was no longer just a respected actress, she was a legend in the making. Yet, despite all her success, Zhou Xun remained a mystery to many. Unlike other celebrities who thrived on publicity, she was famously private. She rarely spoke about her personal life, preferring to let her work speak for itself. This only added to her allure. She was different from the glamorous starlets who dominated magazine covers. There was an air of unpredictability about her, a sense that she was guided only by her instincts rather than by what the industry expected. Her ability to transform for each role was almost uncanny. In one film, she would be a regal empress draped in silk and gold. In another, she would be a struggling musician barely scraping by. Her performances never felt forced or artificial. Instead, she disappeared into her characters so completely that audiences forgot they were watching Zhou Xun. They saw only the person she was portraying. By the late 2000s, she had reached the peak of her career. Every role she chose was met with excitement and anticipation. She was no longer just an actress, she was an artist. Filmmakers trusted her to carry their most ambitious projects, knowing she would bring something extraordinary to the screen. Audiences adored her, critics respected her, and the industry recognized her as one of the greatest talents of her time. It was a golden period, a time when everything seemed to align perfectly for her. Every performance added another layer to her legacy. Every film solidified her reputation. She had come a long way from the girl who once doubted whether she could make it in the industry. Now, she was at the top, and it felt like she could do anything. Zhou Xun had built a reputation as an actress of immense talent, someone who could disappear into her roles and bring out emotions that felt deeply real. But fame, no matter how well earned, always came with scrutiny. For someone as private as Zhou, the public's fascination with her personal life was an unwanted spotlight. Over the years, she found herself at the center of various scandals and controversies, some true, some exaggerated, and some entirely baseless. Yet, each time, she navigated the storm with the same quiet resilience that defined her career. One of the earliest controversies surrounded her romantic relationships. Unlike many actresses who openly shared their love lives, Zhou Xun kept hers under wraps, which only made the media more curious. She was linked to several high-profile men, including actors, musicians, and businessmen, but she rarely confirmed or denied anything. The mystery only fueled speculation, and the tabloids ran wild with rumors. Some painted her as a heartbreaker, others as a woman struggling to find lasting love. When she eventually married actor Archie Cao in a surprise ceremony, the news shocked many. But just as quickly as they had come together, whispers of trouble in their marriage began to circulate. When they eventually divorced, the headlines were ruthless. The media dissected every possible reason for the split. But true to her nature, Zhou Xun never publicly explained what had happened. Another controversy that followed her involved her association with luxury brands. As one of China's most recognizable actresses, she became a sought-after brand ambassador, representing global names in fashion, beauty, and luxury goods. However, in a time when political tensions were high, celebrities were expected to take strong national stances. when an international brand she was affiliated with became embroiled in a political controversy, she faced backlash from both sides. Some accused her of failing to stand up for national interests, while others criticized her for distancing herself from the brand too late. No matter what she did, it seemed impossible to please everyone. The incident highlighted the difficult position many public figures in China found themselves in, trapped between personal choices and national expectations. Her activism, while widely respected, also brought challenges. Zhou Xun was known for her environmental advocacy, particularly in raising awareness about climate change and conservation. She worked with organizations promoting sustainability and was one of the first Chinese celebrities to take such a strong public stance on these issues. But not everyone supported her efforts. Some critics accused her of hypocrisy, pointing out that as a brand ambassador for luxury companies, she was still part of an industry that encouraged consumerism. Others dismissed her activism as a publicity stunt, despite her years of dedicated work. No matter how genuine her intentions were, there were always voices questioning her sincerity. Then came the industry rumors. The entertainment world was rife with speculation, and Zhou Xun was not spared. At various points, there were claims that she had fallen out with directors, that she was difficult to work with, or that she had been blacklisted from certain projects. None of these rumors were ever proven true, but they persisted. Some said she was too selective with her roles, turning down projects that other stars would have eagerly accepted. Others suggested that her reclusive nature made her an easy target for gossip. While some actresses thrived in the media, using it to build their brand, Zhou Xun often seemed uninterested in playing that game. She rarely addressed the speculation, letting time prove her wrongdoers false. Her age also became a topic of conversation. In an industry that often favors youth, actresses in their 40s faced increasing pressure to stay relevant. Zhou Xun had been an icon for decades, but as younger stars emerged, some questioned whether she could maintain her status. There were whispers that she was no longer receiving the kinds of roles she once did, that she was being edged out by fresher faces. Some criticized her for not adapting to changing industry trends, while others claimed she had lost her magic. But even as these discussions continued, she remained steadfast in her choices, never rushing to prove anything to anyone. Perhaps the most hurtful controversy was the suggestion that she had lost her passion for acting. Because she took fewer roles in certain years, some claimed that she was no longer as committed as before. Others speculated that she had lost interest in the industry altogether. The truth, however, was that Zhou Xun had always been careful with her work, choosing projects based on artistic merit rather than commercial appeal. But the public, accustomed to seeing their favorite stars constantly in the spotlight, often struggled to understand that. Despite all the controversies and criticisms, Zhou Xun never lashed out, never engaged in public feuds, and never attempted to clear every rumor. She let her work speak for itself, just as she always had. The industry could be brutal, the media unforgiving, but she remained, weathering each storm with quiet dignity. For all the noise surrounding her name, one thing never changed: her ability to captivate an audience the moment she stepped in front of a camera. Zhou Xun's impact on Chinese cinema is undeniable. Over the years, she has remained one of the most respected actresses in the industry, known for her talent, versatility, and ability to completely transform into her characters. While some stars fade with time, she has managed to maintain her relevance, not by chasing trends or seeking attention, but by staying true to herself. She has built a career based on artistry rather than celebrity, and even now, her influence continues to shape the industry. Younger generations of actors look up to her, seeing her as the kind of performer they aspire to be. Unlike many stars whose fame is built on their public persona, Zhou Xun has always been defined by her work. She was never one to rely on social media or constant media coverage to stay in the spotlight. Instead, she let her performances speak for themselves. This has made her a rare figure in the entertainment world, someone whose career is built entirely on skill rather than self-promotion. Her choices in recent years have reflected a shift in focus. While she once took on multiple projects each year, she has become more selective, choosing roles that truly challenge her and speak to her artistic sensibilities. This has led to fewer on-screen appearances, but when she does take on a role, audiences know it will be something special. Her performances are still just as captivating as they were in her earlier years, proving that true talent does not fade with time. Outside of acting, she has continued to use her platform for causes she cares about. Her commitment to environmental activism has remained strong, and she has worked on various campaigns promoting sustainability and climate awareness. While some celebrities take on philanthropic efforts for the sake of appearances, Zhou Xun's dedication has always been genuine. She has partnered with organizations that focus on real change, using her influence to bring attention to important global issues. Her presence in the fashion world has also remained significant. She has long been a favorite among luxury brands, not because she fits the mold of a conventional fashion icon, but because she brings something unique to the industry. Her elegance is effortless, and her style is defined by authenticity rather than trends. Brands appreciate her for more than just her looks. They see her as someone who embodies sophistication and individuality. In recent years, there have been discussions about her legacy. Some wonder whether she will continue acting at the same pace, while others speculate about whether she might take on different roles in the industry, perhaps moving into directing or producing. Whatever path she chooses, there is no doubt that she will approach it with the same dedication and thoughtfulness that have defined her career. While the entertainment industry is constantly changing, Zhou Xun has remained a steady presence. Her work continues to be studied and admired, with many of her performances considered classics. She has never been concerned with chasing popularity or staying in the public eye for the sake of fame. Instead, she has always focused on her craft, creating performances that stand the test of time. For those who have followed her career from the beginning, her journey has been an inspiring one. She has shown that success does not have to come from playing by the rules or fitting into industry expectations. She has always done things her own way, proving that authenticity and talent will always shine through. Even after decades in the industry, her name still commands respect, and her influence continues to be felt across film, television, and beyond. Zhou Xun has never been one to follow a predictable path. Whatever she does next, it will be on her own terms. She has already achieved more than most actors could ever dream of, but her story is far from over. She remains a true artist, someone who has left an undeniable mark on Chinese cinema and will continue to do so for years to come. Zhou Xun's legacy in the entertainment industry is undeniable. She has captivated audiences for decades with her breathtaking performances and unwavering authenticity. From her early struggles to her most glorious years, and even the controversies that followed, she remains a legend in Chinese cinema. What do you think about her impact? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the world of film and entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.